I called it. I told y'all last week, didn't I? Denji is just built different. I knew he wouldn't get turned into a weapon that easily. The absolute look of confusion on Yoru's face was priceless. But boy, did the following moment get a chuckle out of me. After a long week, chapter 118 of Chainsaw Man is here, and honestly, it didn't disappoint. With Asa trying to turn Denji into a weapon and failing, it opens up a question for both Asa and Yoru, both having different feelings on the matter. And Denji just places his hand on her head and says, Asa's spinal cord sword, thinking that it's just her weird way of saying goodbye. The dynamic between Denji and Asa is so cute. They somehow manage to be two people who should never be in the same room, but also like the cutest couple ever. Yoru asks why she couldn't turn him into a weapon. Asa thinks it's because Denji doesn't like her, unaware that Denji, being a hybrid, grants him some form of immunity to being transformed. I was going to say transformed or controlled, but that's obviously wrong as we saw Makima control the other hybrid devils. So it's specifically in regards to transforming him like we saw with the puppet devil. Asa and Yoru talk about famine a bit, with not too much information being given at this point either. Just that Yoru doesn't like famine and they need to avoid her. One thing I want to point out here is how unclear Fujimoto has made it on who's in control when they're talking, in which he has to use subtle information in order to inform the reader. In this example, Yoru falls asleep on the bed, and Asa has to tell her to take a bath before going to bed, alluding to the fact that Yoru is still in control of Asa's body, and that while Yoru or Asa are unconscious, the other one can still be wide awake. Does this also mean that one of them could take control of the body while the other one is asleep and essentially do as they please? Something to keep in mind as the story goes forward. But as a quick segue, if you're enjoying the video so far, why not drop a like and subscribe? Let me know what you're thinking about part 2 so far, and join my Discord where we can talk about anime and manga stuff. Asa has a flashback of Denji smiling. Obviously, she's head over heels for him at this point. She lays down upset at the realization that Denji still doesn't like her. Upset might be an understatement though. Once again though, I called it. Denji pitches his best date idea, which is to go watch a movie. Specifically a mummy movie marathon that costs 2,000 yen. Asa has an issue with this as she doesn't want to go on a pricey date. The funny part here is that 2,000 yen converts to around $15, which really isn't that pricey for a movie marathon. You pay $15 for a bag of popcorn. Asa obviously is not a woman with high standards. So Denji asks Asa if she has a VCR, her replying with no and asking if he has one. Denji, being the movie lover that he is, obviously has a VCR, so Asa recommends they go to his house, and Denji looks visibly upset by this. He does eventually agree to it, stating that there is one condition, that Asa has to follow their home's rules, that they are rules that she can't break no matter what. Asa questions this, asking what happens if she breaks the rules, and Denji fearfully responds, worst case scenario, you break the rules and you die. Wow. What the hell has Nayuta been putting Denji through if their rules are this strict? This does, however, reintroduce the fear of the Control Devil back into the story. We know how powerful the Control Devil is, so this honestly isn't very surprising. A question does pop into my head though. Will Yoru recognize Nayuta for what she is, or vice versa? We know that Fami couldn't have known who Asa had inside of her based on looks alone, so they have to have some kind of ability to sense other horsemen. I personally think that's exactly what's going to happen once the two of them meet though. I'm excited because in chapter 119 of Chainsaw Man, we finally get reintroduced into Nayuta within part 2. On the usual note though, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to like and subscribe. Otherwise, peace.